Here's a question that might sting a little. What if the strategy that built your business is the same one that's slowly killing it? What worked in 2022 won't work in 2025. Your audience has evolved, the platforms have shifted, and honestly, you've changed too. So, why are so many brilliant entrepreneurs still marketing like it's 3 years ago? Welcome to the On Brand Podcast, the show where we dive into branding, marketing, and living life on brand. I'm your host, Jessica Carr, a marketing strategist with over a decade of experience helping businesses of all sizes amplify their impact and connect with their audience. Together, we'll explore actionable strategies, inspiring stories, and the latest trends to elevate your business and personal brand. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a creative, or someone ready to make bold moves, you're in the right place. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back to the On Brand Podcast. I'm Jessica Carr, branding and marketing strategist for women who want their business to feel alive, magnetic, and sovereign. This is episode 4 out of our 5 rules of building a magnetic brand series. And today we're diving into a rule that separates thriving businesses from dying ones. Adapt or die. Sound dramatic? Good. Staying stuck in old strategies while your market dances forward isn't just limiting, it's business suicide. If you've been clinging to what used to work, wondering why your engagement is dropping or your offers feel flat, this episode is your wake-up call. Your brand isn't a monument. It's not something you build once and admire forever. A sovereign brand, the kind that feels truly alive, is living, breathing, and evolves with you, your audience, and the world around it. Think about it. The algorithm shifted. Your audience matured. New competitors emerge. Global events change how people buy. We've all seen that. And most importantly, you grew. You learned. You discovered new depths to your expertise. If your brand messaging sounds exactly like it did 2 years ago, if your offers haven't evolved, if your content strategy feels like you're on autopilot, you're not building a business. You're curating a museum. Here's what I mean by adaptation. It's not chasing every single shiny trend or completely reinventing yourself every quarter. That's chaos. That's not strategy. Real adaptation is staying awake and not becoming complacent. It's noticing subtle shifts, questions your audience is asking now versus 6 months ago, the language they're using, the problems keeping them up at night that they didn't even know they had before. It's having the courage to let go of what's safe but no longer true and embrace what feels scary but absolutely right. So why do so many brilliant founders and business owners resist this natural evolution? Because change is terrifying, honestly. It means admitting something you poured your heart into, that old signature program, that messaging framework you spent months perfecting, it might need to die. We get attached to our past wins. This webinar used to convert at 30%. This Instagram strategy got me my first 6-figure year. But here's the brutal truth. Your audience can smell fear. They feel it when you're frozen, when you're playing it safe, staying true to who you are now. A brand that can't move feels stale. Stale doesn't sell. It also repels. I see this all the time with my clients. They come to me feeling stuck, wondering why their content isn't landing like it used to, why their launches feel flat, why they're working harder but getting less results. And usually it's not that they're doing anything wrong. They're just doing 2022 things in a 2025 world. Let me get vulnerable with you for a minute and share my own pivot story. When I started my career, it was purely tactical. I'd audit your funnels, create your messaging frameworks, hand you a strategy, and send you on your way. It was valuable work. My clients got results, but something felt incomplete. As I grew, as I worked with more women, I realized my real magic wasn't just in the tactics. It was in helping women build brands that evolved with them, not boxes that trapped them. So I made a scary decision. I let go of a lot of the done-for-you work and my secure corporate role and pivoted into deeper consulting, mentoring, and developing my own frameworks. Did it feel scary? Hell yeah. I was walking away from reliable revenue to chase something that felt more true but less certain. I remember walking out of my last corporate role, taking a deep breath and telling myself, trust the journey. Just trust that everything will work out. And did it work? Absolutely. Not just financially, but energetically. My work became so much more aligned. My clients get deeper results, and I started attracting the exact people I was meant to serve. I didn't pivot because I was bored or chasing a trend. I pivoted because I stayed awake to what my people really needed and had the courage to follow that truth, even when it meant leaving comfort behind. If you're listening, the market is always talking to you. Your engagement drops? That's not Instagram punishing you. That's just data. People stop buying an offer that used to sell out. That's not a bad launch. Your own energy dries up when you talk about your signature programs. That's not imposter syndrome. That's your intuition telling you it's time to evolve. The entrepreneurs who thrive treat these signals as guidance, not failure. Let me give you some specific things to watch for. Are your clients asking different questions than they were a year ago? That's evolution in real time. Your messaging might need to shift to meet them where they're at now. Are you finding yourself naturally talking about your work differently in conversations? Pay attention to that language. Your brand voice should sound like you today, not who you were when you first started. I personally have noticed this a lot in myself in the last year even. I have introduced myself to other people in so many different ways, and when I found the right way to introduce myself, I knew I was on the right path. Do certain pieces of content feel forced when you create them? That's resistance worth exploring. Maybe those topics aren't serving your audience anymore, or maybe they're not serving you anymore. Now, this is a real-time example because this series does not light me up anymore, but we have to get through the rest of it. But I have a new strategy for podcast content now, and that gets me very excited. But I can't just leave you hanging on episode number 3 of the series, so here we are. But I definitely experienced that myself too. The market rewards courage. When you pivot with intention, when you let go of what wants to die and nurture what wants to be born, people feel that authenticity. They trust you more because they see you growing alongside them. This isn't about being flaky or changing directions every time you get bored. You just heard my example about this podcast series. Strategic adaptation has 3 key elements. First element is purpose. Every evolution should serve your people better, not just feel different for the sake of different. Second, timing. There's a difference between growing pains and genuine misalignment. Sit with discomfort long enough to understand whether it's calling you forward or testing your commitment. Third, integration. The best pivots built on what came before. You're not throwing everything away. you're evolving. Your brand voice isn't a script carved into stone. It's a living conversation that should sound like who you are today. Your offers should reflect what you're learning, what your people crave now, and how the world has shifted since you first created them. Your content should feel energizing to create because it's coming from where you actually are, not where you think you should be. Strong brands know when to hold steady and when to burn it down and rebuild. That's discernment. That's sovereignty. All right, let's make this practical. Here's your homework for this week. Take an honest inventory. Look at your brand with fresh eyes. Where are you frozen in an old version of yourself? I know when I look at my website, I feel like it's very much an older version of myself. I'm actually working on redoing everything in the branding, and I'm super excited. But yes, I can definitely relate to that right now. What messaging feels stale when you read it out loud? What offers make you feel meh instead of excited? Step 2 is identifying what you want to die and what wants to be born. Maybe it's time to retire that program that feels heavy. Maybe there's a new way of talking about your work that feels more alive. Trust those impulses. Step 3. Make one small shift this month. Not a complete rebrand. You don't have to do what I'm doing. That's overwhelming. Trust me, I know. But one meaningful adaptation. Maybe it's updating your bio to reflect how you talk about your work now. And maybe it's retiring a service that drains you. Maybe it's testing a new content angle that excites you. Step 4. Pay attention to the response. How does it feel in your body when you make this shift? How do people respond? That feedback is gold. Remember, big brands aren't static. They grow with intention and adapt with courage. Next week, we're wrapping up this series with rule number 5. Make it scalable. Once you've identified a real problem, validated your solution, tested it, and evolved based on feedback, the final step is ensuring it doesn't just exist, it scales sustainably. If you're ready to adapt but need objective eyes on what to shift, I've got you. My brand clarity sessions help you see where you're stuck and map out the next evolution with confidence. Find the link in the show notes or head to my website. Reminder of the week. Your brand is meant to grow with you. Stop trying to fit into the box you built 2 years ago. Break it open and build bigger. Adapt, evolve, and stay sovereign. See you next time. Thank you for listening to the On Brand podcast. If you found today's episode valuable, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Until next time, keep amplifying your impact and living on brand.